There is a town in Britain where palm trees line the streets, frost is almost unknown, and February temperatures match the south of France. No, this is not a travel agency fantasy. This is the British coastline hiding meteorological secrets that even most locals have never discovered. Welcome to Cottage Dreams. Hit subscribe and drop a comment telling us where you live now and whether the weather has ever made you consider moving. We read every single one. Everyone assumes they know British weather. Grey skies, endless drizzle, reaching for the heating in September. But here is what the Met Office knows and what estate agents rarely mention. Scattered around our coastline are pockets where geography conspires to create conditions so mild they grow plants that belong in the Mediterranean. We are counting down 7 towns with genuine microclimates, backed by government climate data and testimony from people who relocated specifically for the weather. One place averages more sunshine than anywhere else in Britain. Another has frost so rare that subtropical gardens thrive year-round. If you have ever suspected Britain might be kinder than its reputation suggests, you are in the right place. Number 7. Deal, Kent. Deal sits on the driest stretch of coastline in the entire United Kingdom, and nobody seems to have noticed. The town of around 31,000 residents lies in what meteorologists call a rain shadow, sheltered from prevailing wet westerly winds by the North Downs. Annual rainfall averages around 500 millimeters, while the UK average exceeds 800. Sunshine hours regularly exceed 1,800 annually, competing with the sunniest spots anywhere in Britain. February averages hover around 7 degrees, mild enough that snow is genuinely rare. The average house price sits at £375,000. Victorian fishermen cottages on Middle Street sell for around £300,000. A 2-bedroom flat near the seafront can be found for £220,000. The high street has actual shops, butchers, bakeries, an independent bookshop. The William Harvey Hospital in Ashford is 35 minutes by car, and there is a minor injuries unit in Dover 15 minutes away. The train reaches London St Pancras in 75 minutes. A retired accountant from Surrey wrote that they tracked weather data for 2 years before moving. Deal genuinely has different weather from London. Clearer skies, less rain, more of those bright winter days that make you actually want to go outside. The beach is shingle, not sand, which bothers some people. The town is quiet in winter, though many consider that a benefit. You are walking the seafront on a February morning. The sky is pale blue, fishing boats rest on the stones. France is visible on the horizon. Would you choose the driest corner of Britain, even if the beach is made of stones? Ventnor tumbles down cliffs so steep that the town creates its own weather, a sheltered sun trap where exotic plants survive winters that would kill them anywhere else on the mainland. The town of around 6,000 residents faces directly south, built into the undercliff beneath St Boniface Down, the highest point on the island. Cold north winds pass overhead entirely. The cliffs reflect and retain heat. The Ventnor Botanic Garden grows plants from Australia, South Africa, and the Mediterranean that would die within weeks anywhere in the Midlands. Average January temperatures reach 7 degrees. Frost days average fewer than 15 per year. Annual sunshine exceeds 1,900 hours. The Met Office classifies this stretch as one of the most sheltered locations in the British Isles. The average house price is £290,000. Victorian villas with sea views sell for around £350,000. Smaller cottages on the steep lanes can be found for £200,000. St Mary's Hospital in Newport is 8 miles away, around 20 minutes by car. The town has a health centre with resident general practitioners. A woman who relocated from Manchester wrote that her heating bill dropped by nearly half after moving. She used to dread November. Now she sits in the botanic garden in January, watching hummingbird moths on flowers that have no business being alive. The hills are genuinely steep. Anyone with mobility concerns should think carefully. The ferry adds time and cost to any mainland journey. Would you accept steep hills and a ferry crossing for winters that barely feel like winter at all? Number 5. Torquay, Devon. Torquay calls itself the English Riviera, and for once the marketing matches reality. The town of around 65,000 residents faces east, sheltered from Atlantic storms by the bulk of Dartmoor. The bay traps warm air. Average annual temperatures reach 11 degrees, the highest of any major British town. Winter temperatures rarely drop below 5 degrees. Annual sunshine exceeds 1,900 hours. The palm trees that line the waterfront are not decorative gestures. They survive because the climate genuinely supports them. The average house price is £280,000, significantly below the national average for a coastal town of this quality. A 2-bedroom apartment with harbour views can be found for £180,000. Bungalows in quieter hillside areas sell for around £230,000. Torquay Hospital sits within the town itself, a major facility with full accident and emergency services. The train connects to Exeter in 30 minutes and onward to London in under 3 hours. A retired couple from Leeds documented their first winter in a local blog. They expected mild to mean slightly less miserable. Instead, they found themselves eating lunch outside in February, something that would have seemed like madness up north. The town has struggled economically. Some areas feel tired. Summer brings crowds and traffic, but the climate is not subjective or disputed. Would you choose proven climate data and genuine infrastructure, even if the town needs some renewal? Number 4. Penzance, Cornwall. Penzance sits at the end of the railway line, the end of the land, and somehow at the beginning of the mild winters in England. The town of around 21,000 residents curves around Mounts Bay, with St. Michael's Mount visible across the water. This is where the Gulf Stream hits Britain most directly. Warm Atlantic water passes just offshore, raising air temperatures year-round. Average winter temperatures hover around 8 degrees. Frost is so rare that locals remark upon it as a notable event. The Morecambe gardens in the town centre grow subtropical species outdoors all year. Tree ferns, banana plants, echiums reaching 12 feet tall. These are not greenhouse specimens. They survive winters outside because winters here are genuinely different. The average house price is £260,000. Victorian townhouses near the promenade sell for around £300,000. Smaller terraced cottages can be found for £200,000. The Royal Cornwall Hospital in Truro is 28 miles away, around 40 minutes by car. The train reaches London Paddington in 5 hours, with sleeper services available. A woman who moved from Birmingham for her arthritis wrote that her doctor had suggested a warmer climate, possibly abroad. She researched extensively and found Penzance matched southern European winter temperatures at a fraction of the cost. 2 years on, her symptoms have improved noticeably. Penzance is far from everything. That is either its attraction or its limitation depending on your perspective. Would you travel to the far edge of England to find weather that feels like leaving it entirely? Number 3. Morecambe, Lancashire. Morecambe looks across the widest bay in England and hides a climate secret that surprises even meteorologists. The town of around 33,000 residents faces west across a bay so vast that the water moderates temperatures dramatically. The Lakeland Hills shelter the town from eastern cold snaps. Average January temperatures reach 5 degrees, comparable to towns hundreds of miles south. Frost days number fewer than 40 per year, remarkable for this latitude. The average house price is £115,000. Victorian terraces with bay views sell for under £100,000. A 3-bedroom semi-detached house costs less than the average flat in most southern towns. Lancaster Royal Infirmary is 3 miles away, around 10 minutes by car. The train reaches Manchester in an hour. A retired teacher from Sheffield wrote that they assumed everywhere nice would be beyond budget. Morecambe was a revelation. Good bones, stunning views, friendly people, and a climate genuinely different from anywhere further inland. Their energy bills dropped noticeably. The town has struggled with deprivation. Some streets need investment. The restoration of the Midland Hotel brought hope, but regeneration remains ongoing. The bay stretches to the horizon, the lakeland fells rise in the distance. The town may be rough in places, but this view is worth more than money can measure. Would you look past cosmetic challenges for the climate and affordability that seem almost too good to be true? Number 2. Babbacombe, Devon. Babbacombe perches above a cove so sheltered that tropical fish appear in summer and winter feels like a rumour from somewhere else. The village of around 4,000 residents sits on cliffs above Babbacombe. The cove faces east, sheltered from prevailing winds by headlands on both sides, and this creates concentrated warmth that exceeds even the main Torquay area. The beach is accessed by cliff railway, adding to the sense of stepping out of ordinary Britain entirely. Average annual temperatures reach nearly 12 degrees. Sunshine hours exceed 2,000 in good years. The National Trust's Colton Fishacre Garden nearby grows plants that would struggle in London, thriving here without protection. The average house price is £310,000. Detached bungalows with sea views sell for around £350,000. Torquay Hospital is 2 miles away. The village has a small parade of shops, 2 pubs, and a community that knows each other without feeling claustrophobic. A retired naval officer wrote that he had lived in Gibraltar and Malta during his service. Babbacombe reminds him of both. He has not worn a proper winter coat in 4 years. The cliff railway is charming, but not suitable for everyone. The village is genuinely small. Would you choose a village so small it barely registers if the climate registers as exceptional? Number 1. Isles of Scilly, Cornwall. The Isles of Scilly float 28 miles off the Cornish coast in waters warmed by the Gulf Stream, creating conditions so mild they support flowers that would die anywhere else in Britain. The archipelago has around 2,200 permanent residents across 5 inhabited islands. St. Mary's is the largest and has most services. Tresco is famous for its Abbey Garden, where plants from Madeira, South Africa, and New Zealand grow without protection. Average winter temperatures hover around 9 degrees. Frost is so rare that some years record none at all. Annual sunshine exceeds 1,900 hours. The daffodil industry once thrived here because flowers bloomed weeks before the mainland. That industry has faded, but the climate that created it remains unchanged. The house price on St. Mary's is around £330,000. Properties appear rarely and sell quickly. The islands have a small hospital, but serious emergencies require helicopter evacuation. The ferry to Penzance takes 2 hours and 45 minutes. Flights from Land's End take 15 minutes. A retired botanist who moved from Cambridge wrote that she spent her career studying Mediterranean flora. Now she grows it in her own garden without a greenhouse. January feels like April anywhere else. The adjustment is not the weather, but the logistics. Isolation is real. Medical facilities are limited. Prices run higher than the mainland. But you are walking the beach on St. Mary's in late January. The sand is white. Subtropical plants flower in nearby gardens. This is Britain only in the technical sense. The weather has seceded to somewhere else entirely. Would you accept genuine isolation for a climate that exists nowhere else in this country? The Isles of Scilly take the top spot because they represent the most extreme answer to the question this video asks. Can you find Mediterranean conditions in Britain? Here, unambiguously, yes. These 7 places prove that British weather is not one story, but many. From Deal's surprising dryness to the Isles of Scilly's subtropical mildness, pockets of this island experience conditions that defy the grey reputation. Like this video if you discovered somewhere you had genuinely never considered. Subscribe, because next week we explore villages where property prices have barely moved in 20 years while quality of life keeps rising. Your heating bill, your garden, your winter walks, your daily mood. These might change more than you expect simply by moving to somewhere the weather already changed without waiting to be asked. The map is the same. The weather is not. Your move. Please watch the video appearing on your screen next.